races, different set of problems for the guys. Premium on boat handling. I'm going to ask you for your tips straight away, since you've had the opportunity to study the handicap sheets for several hours, I understand.
How are you, Bucko? No, I have not had any chance to study anything. But you seem to keep these all to yourself, these handicap sheets. I go in the club and they're all missing, so I'm gathering they're all in your bag. But
all right, well, I'll ask you a different question. Under new livery, Shaw and Partners, James Doran, the former Asco that is, Harry Bethwaite and Tim Westbrook. Are they in form today, do you think?
Mate, after I spoke to you earlier on, I did go over and have a chat with Doz. He seems to be all right and seems pretty pumped up, so we'll wait and see what happens with them. I think, you know, they need a nice soft breeze, especially after last week, to make them feel a bit better. But yeah, I think they'll go all right today. There's no reason why they wouldn't. The guys on Smeg also are in high spirits, so yeah, and the other one to, I think, maybe to keep an eye out for is Brett Van Munster on the Appliances Online, Bucko.
And you're discounting entirely Finput Finance?
Well, they'd be going to the long marks, wouldn't they, on this short course, which isn't going to be very... yeah, I think anyone that's going to go to those long marks today is going to... Struggle. Because, you know, I think I've heard the start boat, Bucko, saying just 1.4 mile beats, so, you know, relatively short beats, so, you know, doesn't give them a chance to step out and have that... yeah, the unwinding sort of come back to them.
But still, big premium on turning the corners efficiently. And as we know, you know, the accuracy of jibe and tack angles and execution on the sail handling. Who's best at that in the fleet, you know?
Who's the best in the fleet? Oh, I don't know, like, you know, the winning group, I think, is probably one of the...
And they're not racing today?
Yeah, and they're not racing today. You know, they're probably one of the better guys. The guys on Finport, without a doubt, are probably the other one, which are a standout at the moment, Bucko. So, you know, you really can't go past either one of them overall. But, you know, these three-boy handicap race, it makes it hard for us to really get a good read on the fleet.
Yeah. But as ever, you know, some of the crews like this 2 races in one day stuff. I personally don't, and I think about half the fleet is with me in not liking it, mostly for the hanging around between the races.
Yeah, no, they had the same problem over at Manly yesterday, and all the crews were coming past us saying how cold they were waiting around, you know, and it creates its own set of issues. The other one too, Bucko, which is they're just going to be coming onto screen shortly, just past the ASCO here, is the Noakes Sailing. There they are, just above the ASCO. Sorry, Shaw and Partners. Shaw and Partners. Still got the ASCO. Still got the ASCO on the boat, but that'll be fixed up in the next week or two. But you know, Sean and the boys have been sailing exceptionally well beginning of this season, Bucko. Like, I know they're pretty much so handicapped out of it today, with probably going all to the longest marks.
That's correct.
So, but you know, like, you can't discount these guys here on Noakes. You know, they're sailing really, really well beginning of the season, and you know, it's like they trained all off season.
Well, they went to Lake Garda, that was good enough. But today, replacement main sheet man Jim Colley? Yeah,
49er sailor, sailed in some 16s a while back. You know, I don't think that's going to be any great loss as far as a change out on that boat.
Just a combination, perhaps a bit.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, folks, just upwind of us also 12-foot skiff start. So there's a bunch of smaller sails upwind, which you might see on screen from time to time. But I'll just give you a little view of the weather. A cracking little cold front through the place yesterday. On Friday, and yesterday, pretty solid southwesterly flow, and things have moved along a little bit, but the surface pressure map this morning's got a little trough just inland of us, and there is some suspicion that the breeze will freshen towards the end of the day. So the first race may well favour the boats with big rigs, and most of the fleet's got big rig, but it might get a bit frisky toward the end of the second race in particular. Tide flooding, although looking at the committee boat, it's
suggesting otherwise.
suggesting otherwise, but we are potentially in the
Little
back eddy under Bradley's Head. The course, 2-lap windward leeward. The windward mark laid marks, plural, laid up near Shark Island. We haven't had the opportunity to inspect the spacing of the marks, which is always a bit contentious in these short handicap races. Missing in the fleet today, as we perhaps mentioned, winning group, everybody busy. Some people entangled in, and we had the Cabbage Tree Island race offshore on Friday night, and a couple of the a fair bit of the fleet suffered a few incidents, and including mast compression on Wild Oats, and some speculation about the exact causes, but there's plenty of pictures on the social media of various kinds. Mast reduced in length by 1 metre below the boom. As one of the lads said, the mast re-sleeved itself under the deck somehow.
Mate, lucky they didn't lose the rig.
Incredibly.
Yeah, just glad everyone spoke to Steve Quigley before we came out, Bucko, and just lucky everyone on board was all okay. A few bumps and bruises, but I think that was more the doing 33 knots up the coast and getting launched around on the boat rather than anything to do with the rig coming down. But
that's right. But interesting, I mean, amazing. I mean, if you look at the pictures, just incredible that they didn't have it fully over the side. But some structural damage to the deck and the ring frame near the mast by the actual parts of the mast forcing their way down through the deck.
Would have been nice and quiet when that all let go, wouldn't it, Bucko?
Some beautiful breaking carbon. Be the loudest noise you'd ever heard in your life. But it was a pretty interesting race. I actually sailed in races on a Sydney 38, so we had a nice sail, a bit tough. But there was about 5 things that drew attention, I think. The first thing was the no limit, well-sailed TP52 from Melbourne. Got a bit over-optimistic with a chute coming out of the harbour, reaching towards South Head, and went for the drop and couldn't get the halyard off the halyard lock, and ended up cutting the chute in half and on the beach at Camp Cove.
It's not a 52, that's the old limit.
Oh, is it? Okay,
so
no limit, yeah, okay.
60 something. A new boat for those owners, Bucko, so
okay.
That's hopefully they'll be back out.
So to sort it out, they had a bunch of issues, but one of the men wielding a knife on board the yacht was Cam Gundy today on the bow of our Marine Pittwater. And he tells me that they got the boat off and spent yesterday actually going for a sail and retrieving their composure.
Oh, good choice of words,
shall we say. But then the fleet went out the heads, and the man overboard incident not very far after the start, a little squall-ish thing. Pulse came through about 40 knots, man overboard. Plenty of attendants. The yacht about time retrieved their crewmen. And then we hear the radio traffic from Wild Oats with a view about they might require assistance. Pan. What's gone wrong there? And then a bit later on, Cara, TP52, that got around the mark and back on a wind in quite a bit of breeze. Structural problems and in quite a good seaway.
We're not going to have that problem as the 5-minute gun goes, Bucko.
No seaway where we are, is it, Jimmy?
No. And,
So the committee has laid a line into Athelbite towards the wharf. Nice looking line actually, but awkward start for the guys. You need to probably start and be cleared of tack.
Still got a few boats. I'm going to struggle to make the start line just looking up the course, Bucko. Look, we've got a drone shot there of where are we? Sort of from the pin looking back up. So now we're back on the start boat from our boat.
Thank you.
Yeah. You got your timepiece ready to go, Bucko? Get you the 4-minute gun.
Should be in 10 seconds.
There you go, 4 minutes.
Yeah, 10 seconds. So, fair bit of pin bias, but you've got to somehow get out of the corner. So, good breeze, wind, speed, rear here at the start line. I'd say 12, Jones, yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looking at that. And the committee worrying about the anchorage.
Yeah, well, we're getting blown around a fair bit here, Bucko, on the camera cat, not by the wind,
By the current.
by the current. So
maybe a bit less pin bias than I thought now looking at that. With the wind where it is now, probably pretty good. I'd say a good line. Good. Oh well, here we go. So coming to 3 minutes. It's about a 1 mile beat, yep. So half the normal length more or less.
two little laps and
Yeah, just 2 laps. 2 laps, downwind finish.
Sydney in all its glory there in the background of the shot, Bucko.
The Sydney Harbour Bridge, indeed.
Back on us ugly looking roosters there now.
Handsomest blokes they could find. This in the street outside on Double Bay, mate. Come on.
Some terrible things in Double Bay today, Bucko.
Didn't notice.
Oh, they're over. Well, actually, I can show Bucko if he missed it. We can go past there on the way uphill.
Oh, we're going to the Island Borough. 2 minutes 10. Finport idling in towards the leeward end. The fleet mostly racked up, just jostling a little. Mostly sort of on final or semi-final approach. Finport looking like they're going to come back at the fleet on port and perhaps try for the leeward end. Committee boat's just re-anchoring itself.
Yeah, I just noticed
Which
it.
does seem a bit strange. Can we have a picture of that? The anchor chain going up and down? That might be evidence. It's called evidence. Oh dear.
Definitely a contrast to last week, Bucko, the Armageddon week.
Yeah, no, good.
Nice, beautiful, sunny day here on Sydney Harbour.
And sorry, today, another replacement we missed. Harry West steering the Yandu as a substitute for John Winning. So that reduces the age on board by about 400 centuries.
Oh, a bit harsh, Bucko.
Hard but fair, mate. 1 minute 10. Asco, nicely positioned. Finport at the pin, coming back at them.
You wouldn't be game enough for a port-hander, would you, Bucko?
Well, old Keegan, you never know. You can't imagine. No, his rule compliance has been pretty good to Finport, I reckon. Oh, that was just a love tap. Ooh.
Yeah, well, he's definitely shaping up for the port-hander down there, Bucko.
40
Noakes.
40 seconds.
AP up, boys.
So the committee's decided that they're line-laying, anchor-moving.
I think they've drifted, Bucko. Like, looking at the distance off the point here.
Exactly.
Give it another 10 minutes and the Ripple side might be joining the lighthouse. So it's got the answering pennant up, so it looks like the anchor is well and truly coming up this time.
Something about scope of chain. I can remember 3 to 1 as a number that was recommended. Oh well. All right, so the crews get a little practice. So for the club, this is just heats 5 and 6 of the spring championship. But another thing that will occur today in the fleet, there's some younger guests from the Royal Yacht Squadron, Northbridge Sailing Club, Willara Sailing Club, Vaucluse Yacht Club, which obviously harbour and middle harbour clubs, where some of the younger people out of Flying 11s or 29ers or Optimists get to come for a little sail on the 18-footers after the race. Fairly hard on the crews, but to enthuse the next generation of 18-footer sailors is probably quite a good program.
Oh, Bucko, seeing some of those kids walking around the park, I've already had grins from ear to ear. So, yeah, hopefully that, yeah, they do get to get out on the 18s and go for a blast, because they'll have a great time.
Yeah, no, the wind's holding very steady. It's, you know, it hasn't changed probably much in the last
Minute?
I was going to say 15 minutes, James. And pretty unobstructed this course, because the windward shore is more or less a mile and a half. A little bit of disturbance towards the top, but
so maybe it wasn't me moving, Bucko, earlier on when I'm going up. We're moving as well, but it must have been the ripple side drifting off, and we...
yeah, the ripple side was, I don't think, ever anchored, unfortunately.
No.
You know, when the anchor chain hangs down the bow vertically...
It's not a good sign.
That suggests something.
Might be a little short one end. So, Noakes is obviously, yeah, keeps pushing it there on the screen. They just followed him out when we came out, Bucko, and they looked pretty good. And, you know, just going through the paces, obviously a new crewman in that combination this week, and just obviously making sure that they're all gelling well. Like we keep talking about that with all the crews, and, yeah, crew combination's a critical thing.
Yeah, I mean, they, contrary to normal skiff, you know, culture, they've done some practicing and some training and some, you know, they've almost written the procedures manual, you know.
We got on the Dow Zotto today, Bucko got Josh Ponton out of the 16s is filling in on that. So
Josh Feldman. So the committee's moving the entire line after deciding perhaps they were a bit close to Robertson's point. Anchor back in.
Just on Appliances Online there, they're all sitting in, just having a little chat. I spoke to Kurt last week. Bucko ran into him in town and was saying how they're all trying to lose a bit of weight on board that boat, and collectively they're around the 15 kilo loss, which is quite good.
Well, I would have thought they would have allocated 2/3 of that to Kurt, wouldn't they?
I know he's not buying you a beer next week, and that'll be Kurt. But,
he's a solid boy, and can't expect the halfback to lose 15 kilos, and the front rower only has to lose 15 kilos.
Well, you know, I think it should be evenly shared across the whole team, Bucko. Always putting it on the forwards. There's a Smeg on screen there with their regular crew of Mika steering, Ricky on the sheet, and Big Pete Mackey up the bow.
So,
oh, just a little birdie in our ear just told us that Mr. Napton is coming back for a little sail next week on board the Smeg. So, if not, he is now. We got it. You heard it here first. So he's on.
well, that's great. Napo, one of the very, very talented blokes we've ever seen steer a boat on Sydney Harbour.
Well, that anchor line looks a lot better on the ripple side now, Bucko. It's going at an angle.
Recommended angle 30 degrees, James. Are we close to that?
Oh, get the is it the protractor out, isn't it? Is that what I need?
Yeah. Anyway, so just looking at the fleet, only a couple of boats with second rig. Does look like a big rig day for the medium weight cruise, at least this first race. But as we've noted, there is a bit of premium on just turning the corners neatly in this sort of compressed course. And that's easier to do with a smaller rig. So I wouldn't discard entirely the chances of somebody using a small rig, but by and large, the top part of the fleet's got big rig in. So
yeah, depending on where these top marks are too, Bucko. Like if you've got the little rig in and we're up, you know, sort of aiming up somewhere towards Shark Island, like, you know, they're getting under Point Piper there. Yeah, could really lighten off for the little rigs, unfortunately. So
yeah, it's a
bit more washing up.
It's a pretty good funnel, though, isn't it, between Shark and the Point Piper in this sort of wind? Like it's cold gradient southeast. So the temperature, you know, air temperature where we are is about 20, 21, and for this time of year, that's quite a cool temperature.
Was it cold offshore the other night, Bucko? I'm sure it would have been. Just a little bit pickly.
No, we weren't overheated by any stretch. I think the air temperature when we're down at Cabbage Tree was about 13 degrees.
Oof.
So we went, you know, I was only in quite a small boat, but we were around the island before sunrise and back into sort of 20 to 30 anyway. But we were busy and it was okay. Pretty untidy seaway, a bit reminiscent of Green Cape at times, but at about half the intensity. So
no lamb roast for dinner, Bucko?
No, on our little boat, you know, we bounced off a few and the stove spat out the oven spat out its metho-bearing pieces, and the kettle came flying off and went down to the leeward bilge and things like that. So
well, that guy there on screen, look at what he does Hobart, on the smallest boat, isn't it?
Sean, he's sworn off that. He did a couple of Hobarts on the smallest boat they'd legally allowed to enter, I think would be the correct words, with a gaff rig just to make it easier. But yeah. But oh, there we go. Signals.
6 minutes.
6 minutes. We did have a few people regurgitating breakfast and lunch, so
people might be having lunch now, Bucko. Leave
spoiling people's lunch. Okay. Not me.
It's got the Vintech there on screen with the behind them, the Royal Oak Hotel Four Pines. So Aaron, Tom and Charlie over there on that.
Yeah.
And that famous surname's back on the Vintech, Bucko, the Monkhouse.
Mm. Oh, another substitution which we missed on Armarine. Brandon Blank on the main sheet today, but Marcus and Cam, so the front and the back are the same as ever. Brandon been around a while, experienced hand. Just looking up wind breeze a little fresher, James.
Yeah, just.
Yeah, 1 knot. How's that?
Thought you were going to come out with something like a milli puff more or something.
No, just about a knot. All good. So the line is now a little longer. They've laid it at nearly the same compass axis as they did previously, so same challenge, clear air and tack.
Trouble getting the little red flags in the mast, aren't they? Hopefully get away without any more delay here, Bucko.
Yeah, I mean, nice cool day. The crews don't enjoy this bit. Anyway, they've had a good look at the line and oh, the Noakes.
Noakes blue.
Just saved it.
Looks like someone dropped off their trap line and caught the wing and was trying to do a chin up there.
Bit of acrobatics, eh? Bit of water skiing with acrobatics. So just 2:45, and everybody just sort of doing what they did last time, except less putters at the leeward end.
Just got the Rag and Famish coming over to get the drone up and get that down to the pin and let you know how that all goes. And the Rag and Famish just off screen, just going past to say g'day to Pete.
And just in the pre-start here, the Vintec out in the middle of the river fixing something, so they won't make the start. They'll look racking up. Asco, leeward side of the fleet. Marine Yandu.
Shore and Partners, Bucko.
Shore and Partners.
We're going to be tripping over ourselves all day with that, but bear with us.
Smeg choosing the leeward edge. And our very good friends on the Finport, as usual, racking up towards the committee boat. We're now a bit early, I think, aren't they, James? They're
a little early, yeah.
Very early for an 18-footer start. More like a 49er start at this point. Boat's nearly going dead slow. And these things do get pretty uncomfortable, particularly the square top mainsails. 1 minute to go. They can easily weathercock, so you've got to be ever just maintain steerage and keep the rig over to windward a bit.
Finport's had to just bail out. They're just off screen, just to the left.
Yeah, they're just going to wait. Some polite discussion in the fleet about wings touching and tiller extensions and carbon fibre and things. Here we go. 40 seconds. The whole fleet compressed. Smeg compressing, controlling the fleet from the leeward edge. Smeg got a clear shot at the pin.
And Birkenhead Point Marina just done a little auto attack in there, just bouncing off the Dalzotto. They've been spun back the right way.
No extra charge for that, James, is there?
No, it's just a friendly help back along the right way.
Coming to 15 seconds. Dalzotto's well up on the line.
Dalzotto well over.
Yeah. Dalzotto be recalled.
I think we might be seeing a...
Shouldn't. Plenty of boats going back.
General. Individual. Well, it's definitely Dalzotto. Oh, no. General.
Change of plan. General. So,
we'll wait here again.
Ladies and gentlemen, we get to do it all again. Finport clearly going to lead out of that start. Dalzotto was in bad shape with 1 minute to go, and when these boats get racked up like that, there's no way you can get out except to accelerate, go forward, tack, go to the wrong side of the line and come back.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to reverse one of these 18s, Bucko.
Impossible, nearly.
great shot there on screen of the harbour all sparkly. The skiff's dancing on it.
So yeah, the wind far enough right now that the line now probably vaguely favours the committee boat end by a couple of boat lengths. So one more knot of wind, James, is now 1.5 more knots. Any additional data on that, mate?
Just got a little message from Craig Nichols just saying, okay, this up's going to be a long day at the office, so we've got plenty of battery power. We should be okay. We'll keep it coming to you as long as we can. The committee not mucking around trying to get them back here, Bucko?
Yeah, and they would be mindful of
the 2 races.
The events to date, shall we say?
Yeah, and obviously the kids coming for a burn.
Here's the fin port on screen. But James, looking upwind, look up to where the smeg is. That looks a bit windy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like there's a bit more pressure up the track, but wait and see. Like, you know, they all didn't handle very well last week, but it was well and truly past the top of the rig limit, but might have given those guys a little bit of a learning for this week to, you know, sail a bit better up range. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely it's increasing that breeze. So we've just, your little model might be right there, Bucko. And the eye flag's displayed on the committee boat. For those at home, that's the eye flag means they're over in a minute to go. You've got to go around the ends. Can't just dip back behind the line. So the starters are now obviously realising we need to get through this day. 2 races.
Yeah, 2 races, 4 general recalls. We could be in for a long day. No, thank you. Plus kids. Yeah. Yep. But still, nice wind and an easy day in a certain sense. That there'll be not much running up and down the wing stuff. It's just lean back and.
Yep. There's a mighty Royale, our spectator boat on screen. Got quite a fair few people out on that today, Bucko, watching them jump on before we left.
And just no good crowd in the club today. Good crowd.
It's a lot better now. The Shaw and partners just coming past us there. Dawes, Harry and Timmy. And now the guys from North Maxville Sailing Club at Bucko have been tuning in and watching us, a relatively new club. Not sailing this weekend, obviously, with all the big bushfires up around there. They've actually turned that area into a bit of a come and drop your boat off, car off, caravan, whatever. Almost like a safe zone. So
what do they race up at North Maxville, mate?
They got 13s flying. What do they got? 13. They got a 13-foot skiff. They got what else? A couple of lasers. Bits and pieces. So relatively young club, and g'day to them all up there, and hope everyone's going to stay safe and well.
And fight the fires. All over New South Wales.
Yeah, some horrendous pictures on social media of what's going on, but don't really get a feel for it here in Sydney.
Well, you can have a little drive up the Wakehurst Parkway, James, and get a feel.
Yeah. Nothing compares to what they're going through, mate. It's
no,
horrendous.
Of course. But just property, not live, so...
Been a couple of lives, unfortunately, Bucko.
Has it? I'm sorry, yeah. I've been out of touch. I missed
3 lives, I believe, but
wow.
yeah.
Sorry to those people.
Everyone up there, stay safe, and we're thinking of you. Yeah. Amazing job all those fireys do, yeah?
So just inside 2 minutes.
They're all a long way back from the line this time, Bucko.
Well, how about that? They've been learning. Time and distance and speed. Time and distance and speed. Time and distance. Yeah, let's go. So some changes in approach.
Everyone's really heading over for this boat, Bucko. Breeze swung a little bit, you think, or?
Yeah, they just breeze is perhaps to the right a little, perhaps softened a fraction since we last discussed it. So still looks pretty nice, full pressure.
One minute. So if anyone in this 1 minute pokes any part of their boat over the line, Bucko, around the ends they go.
Around the ends thou shalt go. Oh, they're racked up high still. Noakes Blue well early and having to really stall up near the committee boat end. Probably going to provide a bit of a roadblock, I think,
for
everybody else, because the whole fleet is out to the, almost out to the out to the side, the committee boat side of the line. 25 seconds and something. Yep, rack up at the windward end. Rack up at the windward end. Wow.
Del Zotto's going close there to losing it. Come on, Captain Jack, get the pedal down. I didn't shake hands with him this week. There you go. So money's not on Captain Jack this week. Kitchen Maker, great start.
Beautiful,
there.
Beautiful from Kitchen Maker at the windward end. Royal Oak 4 pints. Pretty good.
Finport just caught there, the boat behind Birkenhead Point Marina on the little rig. Just wait here for Birkenhead to attack and go, and we'll start following the fleet.
Yeah, and the Yandu didn't get off the line either behind Birkenhead. So Finport 4 pines onto port with Birkenhead pretty promptly. Not much choice.
Yep, and then that general recall, Bucko's advantage to Vintech, who's being able to come back and join the race for the viewers at home. Just. But great to see.
So we'd say probably out of all that, the Kitchen Maker would lead, I think. Perhaps Royal Oak 4 pines second at this point. On screen we've got the starboard tackers, and they're having a bit of a knife fight, and Smeg hasn't done well there.
Smeg's just got just a leeward of him. Noakes Blue just tacking, so hopefully there's enough gap there.
Yeah, no, they've got separation. They've got a
separation,
lane.
Yep. That's the main thing. You want a lane to get out of here, as we were talking earlier on, Bucko.
So just the first part of the flood tide, probably not great consequence this beat, but a small factor. And probably the best breeze is where we are now. A little concentration.
That's us on screen just behind the Smeg. There we are.
Yeah, straight behind Smeg is the left-hand most boat. Just tweaking her up a bit there. Lovely mid-range, slightly upper range actually, but mainsail fairly bladed. No problem about bending the knees, just leaning back. Low hooks. And sorry, Smeg's not quite the left-hand most boat. Shore and Partners and Armarine a little further left, but they were really avoiding action more than anything else to end up where they have ended up.
There's Noakes Blue on screen, Event Heritage.
And they did a great job of jamming up the committee boat end of the line.
Well, made sure no one was over, Bucko. They did a great community service.
Community service, okay, fair enough then.
just going to go around the back over here.
So the Royal Oak 4 Pines. Wow, the Smegs crossed them by the
narrowest of margins.
The narrowest of margins. Cruising boat in the middle of the fleet here. Not sure he's quite aware of what's going on. So out of all that, the guys that went to Bradley's Head have come out, i.e. Bradley's Head being the left-hand side, have come out better than we would have expected. And that's an interesting result. Probably just reflected in the compression against the headland. A little more wind effectively there than elsewhere.
There they are on screen, the guys that were over on the left-hand side, the ASCO and AeroMedia. AeroMedia just ducking the rag, ASCO, Shore and Partners just getting over the top of them. So I think our leader will probably appliances online at the moment.
Yeah, so he got out pretty clean from the middle of the line. And don't know what's happening. Maybe Royal Oak, Jones. I don't know. Close.
We've got a boat race.
That's what it's called. Finport probably fourth. Finport have another stab at the left edge, so he's probably observed a bit.
The appliance online, yeah, definitely, I think it's in the lead here.
Yep.
Kitchen Maker maybe in second.
What's going on?
Yep, just doing a little bit of avoidance work there, Bucko.
You're right.
Just had to get around a 12, a party barge and the like, and
The middle of Sydney Harbour a bit busy right now.
hey, look, everyone's in the one spot. You look up the harbour both ways, there's no one anywhere. But yeah, just having a look at in the back of the appliance online, Brady. They're all right.
Okay. All right. Eddie Van Munster and Co. in the lead.
You see them there just constantly having to adjust jib, main. Here they're setting up for attack. It's a fair process that they go through for attack on these buggos, so it's
Yeah, it's one of those processes which remains essentially unchanged.
yeah.
Ease the jib 2 inches.
But it was good to just see there right in the boat and see all the processes they've got to go through.
Start to squeeze the bow up, and they're just going to cross Kitchen Maker here.
Yep.
Kitchen Maker with a little rig in. So interesting that halfway up the beat, the Kitchen Maker's at least semi-viable on the upwind bit. Kitchen Maker pretty light crew.
Smaller spinnakers, that's not going to be any help to them going downhill, Bucko?
I'm sorry, no, they got big rig in. Sorry,
Big
guys.
rig?
Yeah.
I think the only one I've seen was Birkenhead Point Marina might be on little rig.
No,
that's
that is dead right. Yep.
So we're just going to go for a wander back through the fleet and have a look at the guys. Drone shot there at the moment.
He had a bit of a ferry incident, I think we're describing it as. But quite fresh here in the middle where we are on the camera cat.
It seems to be compressing just at this spot, doesn't it? Well, Yandu underway with young Harry West steering that.
Yep.
Charlie White, and the Burger, the Mighty Burger, the only normal crew on board there today.
So they're looking reasonably composed, and then they're in the hunt. Woody might lose his job.
Never. He loves it too much. I'm sure he'd be watching wherever he is. I had to make a couple of phone calls to him yesterday over something else, but that's all good.
Come on, Big Harry, time to put it on the other tack, brother. Surely.
We might hint to him, Bucko, and we'll tack the camera cat. There you go.
See, we've done our job.
Another community service proudly brought to you by the Mighty Camera Cat.
So then, who we got on?
There you go, two Noakes.
So interesting here, the two Noakes boats side by side. Sean Langman, Jim Colley and Nathan Edwards not having the best first beat from having pretty good, and somebody off the armorine over the leeward there. And Yvette on the blue Noakes having a pretty good first beat. And Yvette on the short mark, so got a chance to be near the front of the fleet. But let's watch on the track, hard on the right-hand edge, appliances on line, hard on the left edge, Finport.
Are we missing anyone else today, Bucko, other than the winning group? It seems a bit light on out here for boats.
No, mate, no, is the answer to that.
Maybe they're just spread out enough.
They're compressed, they're well compressed. So Finport and Royal Lake across in front of these two boats as we get up near Shark Island. But the guys hard right in good pressure against Point Piper are the leading three boats now. Appliances, Kitchen Maker, Smeg. In the Dardanelles we are.
There's Del Zotto going to cross here. Just got to try and make sure I've got somewhere to go out of all this. We've got the drone down, so we're just darting around in between all the fleet. Del Zotto just ducking the Smeg. Coming across to the Kitchen Maker, they'll just pop out on screen here. There's the Kitchen Maker crossing Del Zotto, so
Del Zotto's still in the top five. Good pressure here now. Bit of 15 knots of wind. Mainsail's starting to flap. Might be get exciting later, James.
I think it's going to get very exciting later.
At the first bear away. At the first bear away. All good. So we're only a couple of 100 yards below the 3 mark, so this is a 3-buoy handicap. Appliance on line.
Which one's appliances on line going to, Bucko?
You're not allowed to know. It's a need to know basis.
It is a need to know for where we need to go.
He's got 2 middle marks, so blue. So if we go near to the middle mark, we'll be able to cover the entirety of proceedings. So he's got quite a good lead. And he's on the ley line where he thinks he is. He's really...
They seem to be very...
punching, isn't he? But wow, it's up range now.
It's got a message from the Cub Bear.
Cub Bear?
He's obviously watching, asking Jack McCartney question mark. Do we have an update, Buggo?
No information available to me at this time. Port rounding, and this is tough. Tack on the ley line and get her up to speed, get the bow down, got the job done.
So his first group, Bucko, all on blue marks, yeah? Got Kitchen Maker, Delzotto.
Kitchen Maker's in trouble. Oh no, he's okay.
So on the course, first around, Appliances Online. Second, probably a tie with Kitchen Maker and Delzotto. And fourth around, Royal Oak.
Yandu, James.
And, Yandu around the cheeky mark, the closest mark.
Noakes Blue actually fifth, sixth. Four Pines seventh. Finport eighth. Ragged Famish ninth. So interesting first beat. Pressure on both edges and a bit less wind in the middle. How about that? Oh, the Four Pines just did some damage to the Yandu. We're travelling with the Rag and Famish from the drone.
There's the Royal Oak just driving.
Good thing we don't draw much, James. We'll be aground on the island here.
Oh, okay. Just lift the training wheels up a little, Bucko, we'll be right.
Yeah, all good. So Delzotto won the little knife fight with Kitchen Maker. Delzotto now clearly second.
Shoot down here, Bucko, and we'll have a look in the back of Appliances Online as they're going down with the postcard shot with the Harbour Bridge, the Opera House and an 18-foot skiff. Everyone should have one of those posters on their wall.
Correct, absolutely correct. But Appliances has got clean away here, and they probably lead by about 40 seconds, I'd estimate. And Delzotto second. So Captain Jack.
Captain Jack.
Captain Jack.
Go, son.
Now,
it's getting quite a cult following on social media, Bucko.
And rightly so. With a name like Captain Jack, what could go wrong?
We just got to hit him up for some beer royalties. What do you reckon?
I think he should be buying us Captain Morgan, perhaps. Some kind of fizzy drink, yeah. Cordial for adults, mate. Cordial for adults.
You just see Kurt looking around like he's having a bit of a look around at the other boats, but mainly what he's looking around at is what the breeze is doing for their, whether they keep going this way. And
well, I think they could keep it pretty simple and still win the race.
Here they go, setting up for a jibe on the Appliances Online.
Just get their jibe into the bottom accurate. They'll win the race, I think, subject to. So they're well at the back of the bus, which tells you it's pretty uprange.
Absolutely.
Brett, in the inner wing bar with his back foot. Pretty good stuff. And here he goes, full noise now.
He's got some waves here for him to deal with. Little pop out of the... You hear a click, 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 click going on. That's our director, Michael Chipman, clicking away, getting the postcard shot. available online
For a fee.
for a small fee. Now we've got the rest of the fleet there just following up Yandu with the blue and red spinnaker. And Noakes blue.
But Jimmy, big separation there.
Massive separation.
A bit of knife fighting in the peloton. The couple of the first guys got out. Del Zotto, good escape from kind of third. And they now comfortably, I think, second.
And these, so Appliances Online, Del Zotto, and who else is there with them?
Kitchen Maker.
Yeah. They're all off to the blue marks again for the next time up, the middle mark.
Kitchen Maker's got the white.
Okay, so
Appliances, in white, the most distant. Appliances Online blue, the middle mark, and Del Zotto blue. So
I think at the moment, Appliances Online may have just enough lead if they've got to go to that white, the furthest mark.
no, Kitchen Maker.
The Kitchen Maker have to.
Yeah.
That'll drop them out of the.
Well, they've got a good buffer on fourth. It looked like the mark separation was quite small to me because the axis of the marks was not upwind, it was sort of on the port-tack low line.
Yeah.
Effectively reducing the amount of correction that was being applied. So these guys going in here, going to do a...
It's got the drone shot going there, Bucko, on... There we are, we're back.
Conventional drop, starboard hand gate here. Gate either way, but they're at the starboard hand mark.
You're just hearing them count for the turn up there.
The dial up
Just
done.
to let the bowman know.
They got a nice little lull to around the mark, and you'd suspect that they will tack as soon as they're clean, which is taking a little minute or two. But anyway,
A bit untidy on the drop.
the Del Zotto untidy with a 12-footer and untidy with the approach angle as well.
Del Zotto are going to have to jibe in here.
Completed jibe, and they'll probably go to the other mark though, James, I think. And that might be good for them because Appliance is standing into less pressure here at the moment. Del Zotto very conservative.
Oh, it's only got Josh Ponton's small hands to pull it in, I think is the problem, Bucko.
Oh well.
He had a cracking day yesterday. They were doing all right in the 16s, Bucko, until the rudder came off in the first race, and in the second race they got a second, and the way they celebrated, you'd think they'd won the World Championships.
Well, that happens every week at Manly, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah, so got a few of the boats coming in hot here. We've got just off screen to the right, got the Royal Oak. I'll come back into shot here. You got the Finport.
So the breeze just a bit left here now, gone left about 10 or 15 at the bottom. So that's why Royal Oak ended up a bit hot. Finport coming with them. So there's third and fourth at this point. Yeah, sorry, fourth and fifth, yeah.
Yeah.
With Del Zotto, sorry, yeah.
And got the
So Finport got a bit of a fight on. But pretty clean rounding, pretty nice drop, so.
Noakes blue.
Or making
They're just calling out for...
And they can't get the dial up done, so.
The Shaw and Partners and the Rag are having a little bit of a crunch moment.
Oh, they are, aren't they?
And then next around is the mighty Yandu.
Yeah.
And then next around there, Noakes Sailing. So Noakes Sailing obviously had to go to the furthest mark.
Yeah. So Sean will be a bit disappointed with that. But he's not too many minutes behind, and he's going to attack and get out into the pressure. So far from giving up, but.
Aye.
So of the leading group, Kitchen Maker and Finport have to go to the most distant mark. Nobody's going to catch appliances online unless they get wet. So we're travelling with Noakes here. Middle of the peloton. He got trapped, but he's escaped a bit at the start of this second beat. And he's still in front of the Smeg, in striking distance of Shaw and Partners. So he's not out of it. Looking upwind there, guys. A spectator vessel making its
presence felt.
Presence felt, yeah. And just looking upwind, Yandu there to windward, and Kitchen Maker about 1 minute away upwind. So that's the gap from the back of the podium to the middle of the peloton, as it were.
Yeah, definitely. Appliance Online legged it on Dalzotto. We'll get up and get Piers to bring his camera around and to the right. And we'll have a look at the cross between Dalzotto, hopefully, and Kitchen Maker. Kitchen Maker crossed Dalzotto there, Bucko.
2 boat lengths. So Kitchen Maker's made a good gain. Not sure how that came about really, but plenty of wind in the middle. This thing sails around with a bit of headstay sag these days, James, doesn't it? Look at that. We got this shot. Can we get a full rig shot? Aren't we? Too much information. Still, it's only mid-range really at the moment. Jib banged in pretty hard still, so as soon as they get a bit uprange, they have to twist the jib a bit more.
Almost hear what they're thinking from here, Bucko.
Are they thinking? Of course they are. They're skiff sailors.
See all the adjustments they're doing there. Definitely one of the lighter crews, Bucko.
Yeah,
in the fleet.
Yeah.
So you know, like doing well to.
Not very heavy and not particularly tall. So I think the captain's the heaviest. Yeah.
Looking that way. They're just setting up for attack here on the Kitchen Maker.
Great line of pressure coming to them. Wow. Good spot to attack, I'd say. So this sort of proved to be the right way up in the first beat. Appliances has gone out the other side. Finport's come here. Oh, yes, sir. Not do.
You just start seeing the mainsail every now and then just starting to invert on the Kitchen Maker. So they're really coming to the top of their rig usage. Just on the appliances with the drone there, so
Lines are just setting up the tack. So nobody's made any impression on them at all. At all.
No. And then what we'll do with the camera cat is we'll get over near Dalzotto for the cross coming up with the Kitchen Maker. So I think this is our at least our race up this track, up this beat.
Yeah, no, same.
And then
Well,
the other one to watch is just over to your right there, Bucko. If we try and get them in the shot there. There they are. Is the Royal Oak, Four Pines and Del Zotto. It's going to be a close encounter.
Yeah, Del Zotto's got attacked.
Del Zotto's blinked.
They weren't quite crossing, and it's the wrong thing to do. But there they go. And the Four Pines will just burn over them, I think. Or perhaps not, but... No, they did a good tack on the Del Zotto, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Pretty efficient.
The Royal Oak, Four Pines are sailing quite well, Bucko, so...
Yeah, no, they are on the improvement path. That's pretty clear.
So, just in shot there, you got middle of the screen, obviously Royal Oak Hotel, Four Pines. To the left, you got Del Zotto. To the right there on screen, you've got the Kitchen Maker and a seaplane coming in over the top.
So let's not declare anything, but just suggest that appliances shouldn't be able to lose from here.
It is all on record now, Bucko. You've said it, not me.
That's right.
There's a
Kitchen Maker's got to give back by an unwind to the most distant mark, so you'd say right now Royal Oak is second. Del Zotto and Royal Oak both on the middle mark.
no look, blink, and off they went.
Correct. All good.
And appliance online on screen there, Bucko, just tacking.
Yeah. So he's got one more
gone,
tack,
you dare
and he's
say.
gone. He's gone. He's got I'd say a minute 20 there. Oh.
And the field is spreading out more and more as we go here.
Well, tricky, a little bit not obvious what the right way of the beat has been. These guys here have done quite a good job of staying in the max pressure, but the wind strength now is getting up to the place where they're trying to avoid the max pressure almost.
Yeah, it makes it, yeah, it's that fine line you got to walk, isn't it?
The boats start going a bit slower when they get right up in the rig range. A little bit too much aero drag.
Let's get in the squeeze up right in the back of the Kitchen Maker here and have a bit of a look. It appears to zoom in.
And they'd be thinking about attack pretty promptly here. Royal
Yeah.
Oak's tack, they've got to make a decision here.
You want to do it before the Royal Oak. You don't want to tack under them, completely under them.
Yeah. Well-timed tack, but they're looking also at the little cruising boat.
Yeah.
Little obstacle.
It's just a case of keeping your head out of the boat, right?
That's the only job on Sydney Harbour, mate, in a sense. They have to squeeze up. The cruising boat doesn't avoid them. That's a bit disappointing. They probably would have been better to just stand on there, James, you know.
Yeah.
Plenty of pressure on the right edge here.
And you just see Del Zotto
Tacking
just
again.
having to tack
Yeah.
with the Kitchen Maker. Had no luck, Captain Jack, up this one.
Well, he made his own bad luck, didn't he, in a sense?
Yeah, and the one who's come out of it all right overall and seems to be coming into their own is the Shoring partner, just behind Del Zotto here, coming directly at us, Bucko.
Well, the other
Just the
guy's
left
been
of screen.
stabbing each other in the back, and the Shoring Partners has had a clear shot, but nobody's going to make an impression on the appliances, I don't think. He's right up at the ley line. Got a funny way, but the breeze has gone back to the right.
As long as it goes back to the right when you're in the right.
Have a look at that. I mean, my goodness. Eddie and the boys on a fat ley line, but look at that.
Oh, you'd be loving it.
Surely.
Yeah, overstood it just a little bit. You can see a lot of main out there. Just it's important to keep the boat flat or into windward, preferably.
And they're into a lull. Oh, boys, Gibbon.
You want the lull when you at the Barraway.
Big puff.
Big puff going to hit them right here at the Barraway.
I think they're just in front of it.
Yep.
Or
There's
maybe
a
not.
load up.
Oh,
save it. Good job, boys. We've got a seaplane, another seaplane coming down.
Pretty windy.
Right
Mainsail's still in too far. They got away with it. Windward set from their bottom mark rounding. A little bit of a whiny, but they'll get that out, I think.
Just trying with the tack line first. So that was the result. I think you're seeing when we're down the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're seeing Phil actually pull the whole foot in, Bucko, and then pack the chute.
They got her out.
Got her out though.
All good.
So we'll ride along with the Mighty Appliances online, and then we'll. Yep.
So looking back up the track, not on screen, the Finport temporarily second on the water, but they have to go to the most distant mark, so they'll get back a bit of that. But they have fought their way up through that bit of the peloton.
We'll let. Still got. That was the appliance online heading off to a certain victory.
Subject to no use of the riding lever, James.
Exactly. No one wants that. No. Too cold to use that today, Bucko.
It is, isn't it?
Yep.
So, on the
Royal
water.
Oak is second around, followed by Shore and Partners, then
Del Zotto.
Del Zotto.
And Finport at the most distant mark need to catch up, whatever that margin is, which might be 40 seconds or something.
The Armarine Pitwater going around the blue mark next.
Hard to do.
Worked that out while we're having lunch today, Bucko, with Marcus Ashley Jones. He's figuring out what marks to go around. Well, his boat's blue. He's got to go around the blue mark twice. It's the only one I know what their handicap was.
Fair enough.
Just got the Royal Oak 4 points just buzzing past us. Shore and Partners with an early jibe. Bucko, do you think that's the right thing there?
Well, we did think the best pressure was against the headland. And these guys
Zotto there on screen.
going through the lee
Finport
of Shark Island, which is a factor. But they might be going, let's keep it simple and go straight to Bradley's Head and jibe. Lots of ways to skin the cat downwind in these boats, but jibes aren't free. But Royal Oak jibing back, as it seems. But we're travelling with Finport and Armarine. Coming at you, Finport.
There you go.
Great stuff. Get up to jibe. Jibe Bing.
Great jibe there on the Finport.
These guys working pretty hard, but the Appliances is down near the finish.
Yeah, they're definitely in a different postcode, right?
Yep. And still pretty close between the Del Zotto and
The battle's going to be for third. I think you'll find the Royal Oak as
Royal Oak.
Royal Oak 4 Pines has stepped out. We'll see what the advantage is there from the Shore and Partners with that early jibe. It seemed to be a lot more bow down than what the
He's
other
got a
guys were.
good bit of wind there. Headed starboard jibe pressure. But not much difference, speed difference through the water of these boats downwind. The fleet's fairly even, and so it's all about finding the most amount of wind.
So Del Zotto and Shore and Partners rounded the mark virtually together, Bucko, and Shore and Partners has stepped out a little bit there on the Del Zotto.
Yeah, pressure.
And Del Zotto could be
4th, 5th, 6th. 4th Del Zotto, 5th Armarine, 6th Finport.
Yep.
Great jibe on the Royal Oak 4 Pines. Perfect.
Mate, they're sailing really well today.
Yeah, no, that was super,
impressive work.
Super stuff. So we need a telescope to catch up to the appliances. They're that far in front.
The steward's inquiry, do you think, Bucko?
There should be. 4 Pines got quite a good grip on second though, looking at that.
Shore and Partners is coming at him.
Shore and Partners having a shot, but you'd imagine, wouldn't you, James, that the Royal Oak 4 Pines would just do one more jibe. Just go to the ley line and shouldn't be able to lose. Good compression against the headland on the far side, Bradley's Head.
Yeah, well that's...
Tide flooding. Ooh, let's have it, you know.
Shore and Partners here setting up for a jibe.
Wow, pretty good hot jibe.
Yeah, pretty good jibe there.
No mucking around about the speed of turn or the bow height coming out, which are the key ingredients.
Leave you with the drone with the Shore and Partners, and we might go over to the Royal Oak 4 Pines and we'll see when they come back together. What do you reckon, Bucko? I think this is definitely the race. We got the race on.
Well, all I'll say is Shore and Partners one extra jibe.
Well, it wasn't too bad of a jibe though, Bucko.
No, it was a beauty. Quite right. We'll see.
And just for the viewers at home, appliances online finished, near enough to finished. We've probably still got about another minute and a bit.
Yeah,
the Royal Oak didn't like the look of going to the island bar, so they've jibed and they're coming back to see what's going on with.
Well, it's going to
see
be.
if we can get out a little wider on our shot, and we'll zoom in once we get the Shore and Partners. So this is going to be close.
Are they going to jibe on top of Shore and Partners?
Yep, Shore and Partners trying to.
Oh, and they flap the Shore and Partners. We'll get through here.
No.
Or maybe not. No.
No, that's not what you want.
Wow. So that was a pretty imperfect jibe on the Royal Oak, but they still succeeded.
Yep, and what that's also done, these two playing around with each other, Bucko, right over the back of the camera cat. We've got Del Zotto coming to join the party.
Yeah.
So
you'd think
don't rule out Captain Jack just yet.
Oh, I'd put a line through him earlier, mate. Sorry.
You always put the line through people.
4 Pines just needs to soak a bit here and they'll be clean to jibe.
So you'd almost think Shore and Partners.
They've got a jibe surely, haven't they?
Well,
no point in going where they're going there. They'll be going 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Just no pressure to jibe
but
back on the inside of us just yet. Del Zotto's on a.
They're on a lay, these guys. So he's just let him go, mate. He's let him go. Come on, Doro, you got a jibe, mate. Oh, no,
too late.
He thinks the other end is okay, obviously. Let's have a look from the end, James, eh?
Got a slight problem of a red boat in the way. Here he goes.
He's only a bit in the way, not for long. We'll be right. Not a Fair job, but not their best.
Royal Oak, 4 Pines,
Yeah.
second.
He had to jibe first and go to the other end.
Yeah, I agree.
So to follow the leader didn't work. So Royal Oak, 4 Pines second.
Shaw and Partners.
Tommy Cloud in
third.
the middle today. And sorry, Tommy, we missed your presence in the pre-start call-out. Charlie Gundy in about pretty good package there.
Del Zotto, fourth. We get to line up and do all this all again, Bucko.
I know. Amazing, isn't it? Armour in fifth.
Marcus Ashley Jones.
Brandon Buying
Nice.
and Cam Gundy. And sixth, our perennial favourites, Finport, didn't have the best last run. Probably went the wrong way a bit. And everybody should take note that they could finish up at the boat for the best result. Anyway, so that's the top 6, and there's a bit of daylight. Back to the...
Just got the drone heading on up there to pick up the rest of the guys and the Noakes.
What we call the second peloton.
Yeah.
Yandu's going to get 7th. Amazing bit of wind there. Yandu on the face of a good puff. A good 10 degrees lower than the guys near them. Amazing. In this sort of wind speed, the boats go downwind a bit faster than the puff. So if you sail in the back of the puff, you can sail out the front of it sometimes.
You might. Mosey on up. We'll leave you with the drone there. Yandu crossing. Coming to the Battle of the Noakes here, Bucko. I think Noakes Blue might be next across the line.
Very close, almost a dead heat.
With the 3 of them. So Noakes Blue, the Rag and Noakes Sailing. So I think Blue got it from Red from the Rag.
And the Smeg in an unaccustomed position here, boys and girls.
They're on all the long marks, Bucko. The only thing we're missing on here is an Enigma machine to work this out. What do you think?
Yeah, the Smeg on scratch, so long marks all day, but they didn't make any impression whatsoever, did they, really?
No.
Considering that Kitchen Maker probably beat around the course by 2 minutes. If we look at that.
We're just waiting on, I think, our Vintech just crossing the line there. Just waiting on the Birkenhead Point Marina and the Ilvey to come down and finish. And I dare say the starters will get us back into sequence somewhat pretty quickly. What do you think, Bucko?
Yeah, they'll be enjoying this. And no change in the wind. The wind pretty stable. 12 to 14. Mostly. But
just overhearing the start boat talking, they just said Noakes Blue from Noakes Sailing. So there you go.
Well, there you go. Bit of unwind. Good to see Yvette get around in one piece and in good shape.
Just got Birkenhead Point Marina there on screen, coming into the finish, probably the next 20 seconds.
Yeah, pretty light crew today, so and a fairly a new combination. So they've got the small rig in, which hasn't proved to be that good, but they were quite respectable up the first beat. But still a bit of a work in progress, that boat.
across.
Marine. Oh, Marcus loves standing up on the wing.
That's what they're there for.
I know, sort of.
One way to fix it, go back to, you didn't have netting in between them. What do you think, Bucko? That'll stop that.
Yeah. No, I did sail one of these with netting. It was definitely a good idea.
Once.
For a year.
There's a mighty Ilvy, silver bullet coming in.
Well, James, what did we learn? We learned that the two edges paid sort of more or less somehow. Bit of pressure on each edge, extra. Up the top, second time the breeze went right. Not much evidence of that filtering down to the bottom of the course.
No, but you know, like what Shaw and partners did there, down that Point Piper Shaw, really brought them back into it. You know, just
So that was worth, in not very long, it was worth sort of 5 boat lengths, five or more boat lengths. We're just getting a bit of polite flack from the Armour and Putwater stand-in, Brandon Blank, and no more coverage for that boat.
we hope to be underway sooner than later. What do you think?
Well, I think to find they're straight into signals here. They're just checking between the committee boat and the race officer.
There's a spectator ferry on screen, bottom of the screen with a harbour bridge and the city in the background.
So some happy punters and some unhappy punters.
They get to do it all again.
That's right. But
we get to do it all again.
But well, the bookie just breaks even every week, he tells me. So
the bookie when we don't have a bookie.
That's right.
No such thing.
That's right. So can't see too much changing for the second race. Breeze isn't, no sign of any major change. Just
I think the only thing that, if anything, needs to be changed, Bucko, is probably the relaying of the top marks so they're not side by side.
Well, that won't be happening, I can tell you. So
no, that's not going to be happening. You've got the committee boat and the chase boat down here. Looks like we've got a bit of action just about to happen here. There's some flags.
Yeah, it looks like 30 seconds away from signal. Tide flow going up though, so that might have softened the appearance of the wind, but still pretty good pressure up the top. Looks like just a bit less down the bottom.
Bit of Bucko, you ready?
Bit of rotation to the left here down the bottom. Around getting 4 o'clock Sydney time, so
straight into it. There's 5 minutes for the viewers at home, and looks like that I flag is displayed again. So
yeah,
the committee wants to get back to the bar.
Try and dissuade any early starters. Stay with the battle. Lions has had it done and dusted, didn't they? So Jimmy, a bit tricky now. Looks like you need to. Looks like the pressure has moved off this shore. Too warm, perhaps. I don't know. The anti-catabatic, that would be.
The anti-catabatic.
The reverse of the catabat. The thermal uplift, we'll call it. Batter cat, all right.
The batter cat.
But the breeze definitely a bit spottier in this corner than in the middle and up to the top.
Yeah, and Looks like we've got a change of skipper on the Yandu for this race. Looks like Charlie's on the helm and Harry's moved to the sheet. Just to mix it up. They're just going behind us there, so I just noticed Harry with the main sheet in his hand and Charlie with the tiller in his hand.
Well, so Doro, the Shore and Partners looked like they were a bit serious. They didn't start too well, so that for them to get into the podium was quite a good effort, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought
they looked pretty fast through the water in actual fact.
Yeah, and you know, I think the them and Appliances Online have got one of those Doyle jibs. They seem to go through the range. Like when we've had a look at it, Bucko,
yeah,
a couple of times, they seem to be able to work through that range where it got up and down a little bit. So we're pretty lucky in that aspect to have a look at that earlier on in the season, and you know, they might be onto something.
Yeah. New jibs, no, the Kiwis not using any Doyles, so who knows. But coming into 3 minutes here. Sorry, coming to 2 minutes, should I say. They haven't moved to the start-finish line. Breeze is built again here a little. Pretty even, a little bit left perhaps, not much. So going to look a bit the same. We saw from the finish that the committee boat end is a little further upwind than the pin, so we might expect to see again a bit of a crowd at the boat end.
Absolutely.
So one coming to 145, the fleet all racked up out to the right.
The other thing we've got to be mindful of, hopefully it doesn't happen, Bucko, is there's a big cruise liner unit, Circular Quay, that will be departing very soon.
Oh, it's early, mate. The sunset cocktail can't be served till when? Sunset, so
well,
that's a few hours away.
You've got to have a precursor.
A few hours away. Yeah, perhaps. Okay, so fleet a bit anxious again, a bit racked up.
They got that eye flag up.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, they got the rounding end rule in place. 1 minute. And everybody pit stopped, slowing down, but high. Smeg gone, gee, we didn't do that first start too well. We better have a rethink. And the boat's definitely too close together, the four boats there. Noakes Blue, Marine. Noakes Red having a fight with Noakes Blue.
Those two are stuck together.
Yeah. So.
And you got, just watching Dollars on the Shore and Partners there yanking at the tiller.
Ventec down the other end. 20 seconds. These guys are a bit early. Finport putting the squeeze on them all.
Yandu pushing him up, and Noakes
and
sailing.
Marine very close. But they're good. All good except...
Good, clear start.
And Shore and Partners best at the windward end probably. Kitchen Maker in row B, but okay, cleared attack. And good line of pressure on this end. So it's favoured the boat significantly. Finport out cleanly as well. Royal Oak, first boat to tack, probably in pretty good shape.
Noakes following him, they didn't have much choice. They had a bit of a mask chucked all over him by the Marine Pitwater boys.
Yeah, so but Noakes out clean, got a lane and back into pressure, so
and
no.
That's all you need, right, Bucko?
That's all you need, yep.
Clean air.
No knife fighting and clean air, please.
Yep.
So Shore and Partners also clean. Marine, all clean just. Appliances hard left. Not looking too good actually.
It's only early.
Yeah, but he's behind a lot of sterns. Yeah. I like a few sterns, don't you? You know, oh dear. Ah, yes. Finput got the high upwind clamp on over here on the other guys. Dalzotto, Appliances, Smeg, Ilvi, Ragged Famish, Yandu. So
Smeg just tacking there on screen.
Finput leads this lot and then going for a little cleanser at the island bar. No, here they go. In the pressure. So clear shot there to Finport. They've tacked in a good line of pressure. And I think they'll go straight to the other side. So the less tax theory, let's go. But it looks like Armarine leads in the middle of the harbour. But I think what we're going to see here, guys, is the fleet quite compressed. A lot of boats with good lanes. A lot of boats got out without any ducking or squeezing, and no interference and no dirty air. So
breeze is back up a little bit where we are, Bucko.
Yeah, nice wind here. We're travelling with Finport.
Drop down to Smeg and Appliance online. Do you think Brett can do it 2 from 2 here, Bucko?
Well, he's got himself out of not being in the front row, so he must be going pretty fast through the water.
They must have found another gear on that boat during the week.
Well, a new jib as well.
Well, that's worth something.
Yeah, and they have been working, you know, like. Interesting. Pretty even. Finport, them, Dalzotto, Noakes, Blue in the running as well again. So good day for them. Shaw and Partners probably gotten too low on the right hand side here. Royal Oak Four Pines probably last. How's that? Oh well.
Well, the first attack out, you remember, Bucko, so suggests what?
Yeah, I don't know that. I think they might have had a problem, Jones, which we didn't see.
Yeah, they are quite a ways back, yeah.
Yeah, had some issue.
Captain Jack crossing at the moment.
Finport ducking, actually.
Yep.
Finport bow down. So Captain Jack Dalzotto, Finport, and a little lull in the middle of the river there, and good pressure to the right. So you'd favour these boats here. Finport, Smeg, some degree, Noakes Blue, Armarine in the race as well. Finport, I would say, leads now though. How about that, Jimmy?
Well,
Into it.
Dalzotto crossed them.
Yeah, but they're going the wrong way, I think, Dalzotto.
Come on.
Never ride them
with
on.
me with the Captain Jack, mate. I think the Finport are sailing amazing. The sailing great boat there.
Yeah,
Smeg
good
here on screen.
Good to see the Smeg in the front row. Finport just leads these other two guys, not by much. Breeze a little lighter and back to the right. How about that? That's hurt the Finport and made a gain for the Appliances.
You see Ricky there on the sheet, the guy in the middle, just looking around, trying to get an assess, have a bit of an assess, a bit of a figure out what the other guys are doing over on the other shore. Do they keep going here?
Ricky Bridge, the quiet achiever, Jimmy. Yep.
The BP, the Smeg, just going behind the Appliance online.
Good here. Breeze gone a bit spotty, and Finport ducking Appliances. Wow. Finport, funny little bit of puff.
Finport just giving the Appliance online a little love tap on the tiller extension, but just had to run in and flick it back down so they can do attack at some point.
So these boats pretty even, but whoever tacks in the right place comes out in front here.
It's a case of how far do you go in here, right, Bucko?
You'd think that Smeg, yeah, there we go.
There they go.
And a horrible tack on the fin port. Pretty good, not a bad tack on the Smeg, but they get a bit of a blat, so they struggle.
Look at that. So we've got boats all the way down to Land's Edge on the other side. There's a kitchen maker that Noakes Blue.
Appliances leads, there's a call.
and Shaw and Partners.
What happened to Dalzotto, mate?
They went where you said not to go. That's what happened.
The appliances easily in front of you. So,
are we going to see a repeat, do you think, Bucko?
Well, there you go.
Noakes Blue having a great race. That's just them, just on the other side there of Finport on screen.
Noakes Blue in front of Noakes Red. So there'll be trouble in the team meeting later this week.
I think you should go along and chair one of those team meetings, Bucko.
I know, I've done a bit of work with Sean. It's been good fun.
There's Noakes Sailing and Shaw and Partners on screen. And to your left there, the kitchen maker. So they're just making their way. And there's Dalzotto in front of them. So Dalzotto will find out where they come out in all this in the wash. What do you?
Dalzotto's still in the podium race for sure. Probably second. But the right edge looks like it's paved now. Looking at what Appliance has done to everybody here. Finport looking cracking there. Wow. Great stuff, boys. Have a look at that, Jimmy. No cutting them on, just getting the main sheet tension and the natural properties of the membrane.
Got the human cutting hand there of Matt Stenter just wrangling that thing.
The Dalzotto just came to a bit of a halt. So, Appliance online, 5 boat lengths in front of Dalzotto. So 20 seconds roughly. And Finport, Dalzotto not able to cross Finport it would seem. But we're back in the pack here on the screen. Oh no, we've got Finport. So Finport second at the moment, going to the long marks. And Dalzotto got to unwind on the blue mark. So out of what we see, Appliance is also on blue mark, middle mark, blue mark. But they've actually separated significantly from the rest of the fleet.
Yeah, they're sailing the boat really well today, Bucko, aren't they?
Well, and you got to say, Finport's done a pretty nice job up the beat as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, Appliances hasn't done many tacks. Breeze actually fading up the top here now. It's a bit different race to last time.
Dalzotto tacking there on screen, on the left of screen.
And not one of your great tacks.
No. Tack in waves, Bucko, yeah?
Tack in waves with no wind. Oh dear. Anyway. Oh, and they're sick. Trying to get back to the right where there is more wind again. And equally, Finport put about by the seaplane, I think.
And Jet A1 that we can smell.
Yeah.
Just on the Vintech there on with the drone, Vintech just tacking. So good little battle there on screen between the Shaw and Partners, Marine, Pittwater and Noakes Sailing.
Yeah, they've been stabbing each other all the way up the beat, so what could go wrong, do you think? Oh, well.
Well, as the old boss used to say, maintain the roads, yeah?
Yeah. And a big puff around the corner, Finport and AOL. Bit of up range again here. So the breeze showing signs of doing something. Dalzotto give him back a bit more there, Jones.
Yeah, he's. I think he's just. He got it. Went all the way to the other side of the harbour. Now he's come all the way to this side of the harbour.
Yep. So Finport here waiting for appliances to tack. Oh dear.
We'll be in for the rum and coke shortly.
Yeah. We're in the bay at the Edwards. God almighty, Finport. Crikeys.
And I think Brett on Appliances Online knows exactly what he's doing there.
Really? Who would have thought, eh? Oh no, he's let him out a bit. Not too bad.
Not too great either.
Finport will be looking forward to the puff, I know that.
These two have stepped out quite a fair way from the rest of the fleet. Bucko.
They've executed quite well and gone the right way, so. So Appliances Online gets an unwind here and so gets a minute lead over Finport.
Finport just setting up to tack just off screen.
So Finport looking up to the right, great bit of pressure, nice tack. More pressure to the right again, so
Finport just flashing across the screen.
Going up to the starboard tack low line. Quite a way to go. Not sure he's giving himself quite enough room there, but anyway. We'll see.
Yeah, plenty of water in there, he'll be all right.
I wasn't talking about the depth, I was talking about the actual shoreline, James.
Yeah, well, he'll be okay.
No, he's fine. Should never doubt him, eh?
Appliances Online just there on screen, just tacking. One more tack for him and into the...
But again, James, the unwind between the marks, the middle mark and the top mark is pretty small.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Finport ran into a header over there.
Finport a bit close to the upwash, James, over the
upwash
point.
off the statues there on the point.
Correct, and nearly in the tide in the tack.
Going back.
So I'm not sure what that was about.
You were saying their tack wasn't that good, so they're just going to do another one for you. They might be coming back to do another one. There you go.
So what's the problem, do we think?
Well, trying to tack with no boat speed, Bucko.
They've just wasted about 30 seconds.
So
I think they've got a technical problem, to be honest.
No, that'll be okay. Now, leader here on screen, Appliances Online. Shots brought to you by those drone shots that were brought to you by guys from AeroMedia. That's the shot there from on board us.
So there's what happens. The just looking back, the guys.
Oh, he just wanted someone to race.
Oh, clearly.
Is that what it was, Bucko? Keegan was just being...
I don't know. Anyway, Appliances is gone again.
So you got Shaw and Partners in this Appliances Online gone. Seaplane came around, looked at all the 18-foot skiffs here and just went, oh, I'm going back around.
Yeah.
So
on the water though, James, Noakes Blue on the shorter mark, the short test mark is going to be second on the water with Vintech overlap.
Vintech in second.
Yeah.
Noakes Blue third on a course.
And Shaw and Partners, Finport.
Bit of a discussion going on between Shaw and Partners and the Finport.
That just happens every day, doesn't it?
Old friends, mate.
Bit of trouble here on the Marine. Spinnaker stuck on the jib. They got it out.
We got it out.
Tack line not out. Spinnaker still stuck on the jib.
Finport there just going for a jibe on screen. Appliance on line again, Bucko, gone.
Put the glasses down. Put the glasses down, or pick up one and have a drink for the appliance on line, boys.
Just get down and give these Noakes Blue and Vintech a bit of love. They're just, the Vintech's caught up in a, what are we up on the screen there? We've got the Finport Shore and Partners on screen. Great shot there from the drone. There we are. It's caught up to Noakes Blue.
Yvette Heritage, Roy Hunter and Oliver Scott Mackey. And they're showing some good signs here, James, aren't they? They've been in the fight up the beat. They've got a bit wrong up the top, but sailing with increasing confidence.
Yeah, they're doing very well. It appears to come out of it's a problem that Noakes Blue have got. They've got the Vintech they're trying to get around just there in front of them. Go down and have a look at the Vintech, eh? Just got the drone there on Finport, giving plenty of love. And Shore and Partners just there to the left of the screen. And we're just riding along here with Vintech, Kurt Mitchell. Who else is there? There's Reece Goldsmith and Sammy Monkhouse, yeah?
That would be correct.
They're setting up for a jibe. Come and give them some love.
Jibing.
And they're all jibing. We'll stick with the Vintech here.
Pretty tidy jibe.
Yeah. Great jibe.
Go. And they've actually come down to appliances a bit, this group. Not sure how that played out, but...
Because we put the commentator's curse on them. I said the appliances on the line are gone.
That's right.
That's what happened.
That is probably correct.
Just going to get up on the weather side. Not that they'll be driving anytime soon, but just to give them options.
Yeah, big powerboat shadowing the Finport and Noakes Blue. Travelling here with Vintech still.
Noakes Blue just off screen has just capsized.
So just after he talked them up, what happened?
Just through the jibe, Bucko, just kept the roll jibe going all the way to lay down.
Just rolled all the way till the mast hit the water.
Yeah.
Oh well.
You've got to stop it at some point.
Yeah.
There's Vintech.
You know, these guys try to do roll jibes and it's great, but it leaves no margin for error. And if one person slips or the helmsman just turns the boat a bit too quick, there becomes a problem. How about the Shore Partners hot jibe into the bottom mark?
Yeah, they've got plenty on down there, Bucko. They're coming in hot. Just getting the camera to come back around, and you see the Dow's Auto flash across the screen here, and then just it's a fin port there on the right. I'm going to stay on the Dow's Auto. Here's the directive from Mr. Chittenden directing us, giving me a skill test today. Setting up for a jibe, or are they just faking it?
No, he's had to get down below the 12-footer committee boat. That wasn't their best. A little bit of a light spot here. So the appliances around the mark and gone. Shaw and Partners second with about a 1 minute gap. Vintec will be third if they stay upright. Ooh. And Finport will be fourth. Finport, pretty good angle into the mark here.
Yeah, great angle into the mark on there. Dow's Auto just jibing there. Just letting too much sheet go through the jibe there on the Dow's Auto.
Okay.
For my liking.
Put it in the notebook.
Finport.
Oh, we should have spotted that was going to happen, James. Jibe drop on the Dow's Auto. We nearly the
no look.
Yeah. Tell them they're
Captain
not
Jack.
playing rugby or knife fighting. Just be nice to us.
We're trying to be nice to you, Captain Jack. You be nice to us.
Yeah. So he just got a big puff as he did the dial up.
The rag and Famish
Pretty untidy.
getting the shoot in. Marine Pitwater next in. A few little waves just to bounce over, just to make it a little bit more uncomfortable for them.
Fairly tight. 3 boat length jibe drop, but job's done, I think. Cam Gundy, 80% done. They're able to dial up. It's not that windy.
No. The next one that's coming around will be Royal Oak Hotel going to our other mark.
Sheedan gets the jib in, off they go. Beautiful. Yandu.
Dow's Auto's got a problem just off screen.
Oh my God. What happened there? A lull.
I think the boys seen a pretty girl on a yacht, mate. The
Well,
Yandu, the jibe drop, the old burger, packing away.
getting those young arms going, mate. So the breeze just getting a bit spotty, as we sort of talked about on the first beat.
Here's a kitchen maker Caesar Stone coming around next. And we have Smeg and Noakes just in the background there with Ilvi.
So Smeg was in the race 2/3 way up the beat, and I don't see what happened, but they...
Did they have to go to that furthest mark, Bucko?
Yes, they did, but they found a bigger pothole than that, didn't they? Look,
Yeah.
You know, they were bow to bow with Finport, so they've spat the best part of 2 minutes here somehow. Oh no, Finport did do an unwind, you're right. So 1 minute, still 1 minute. And 1 minute's the front to the back of the peloton, isn't it, more or less?
Yep. Noakes Blue is back up and sailing. They're coming into the bottom mark just there, just behind Elvie.
With a 12, they're going to do a
And
jibe
a
drop.
12-footer that
No,
she just had a
that's good. That's
discussion with.
good. Yeah,
Now
jibe
she's
drop.
going for another discussion with.
That's okay. That's good work. They got it up, and they're only just at the back of the peloton. They went from, that's a 2 minute capsize under spinnaker. It's not too bad.
Pretty good, yeah. That's really good.
Yep, not bad at all. And can she dial her up? Yeah, they'll get the dial up done. Jib coming on, all good.
And the other one,
Yvette providing a bit of advice to the bowman, I notice.
just got a little 12-foot skiff going across the screen there. And the last boat to come down will be the Birkenhead Point Marina with the little rig, Bucko.
Yep, so the breeze moved the wrong way for them. They were hoping for a bit of freshening.
Yep, so we'll get back up through the field.
But it does look windy again just down the bottom here.
Always looks windy down the bottom.
And right-handed.
Well, let's go the right way.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Wow.
A few funny waves under the camera cat there. I didn't know where we were going for a second. Coming up here onto the back of the Smeg. This is where the majority of the fleet went this way. Just about all the fleets come this way now, Bucko.
Well, I've had the lesson 3 times, James, so just...
Well, it's unusual that it's adhered to the 4th.
There is a slow learner class available, you know.
Is that available with your Windows for Boats navigation program?
Windows for boats. Look out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's pretty...
One of Muggsy's favourite saying.
The other interesting thing, I think, you know, we're all leaning harder and harder on these weather models, and in ocean racing in particular. But, you know, effectively the wind model for the, say, the Cavity Island race, which you talked about earlier in the commentary. You know, I've got a good mate, Phil Eadie, who's a, you know, highly experienced 40 Hobart race type navigator, and he's still saying the best thing is to look out the window, you know, don't worry about...
He says a lot of strange things.
You're right, you're right, but...
Great shot there from the drone on the screen, the Yandu.
But the model was, you know, about 60% right, but 40% wrong, you know, for the race, James. So, any of the models, in fact.
The Rag and Famish, just off screen, has had a bit of a, I don't know whether they have hit it, but there's big, what would you call them, mooring buoys that are in the harbour for ships. It looks like they hit it.
No,
like they hit it with their leeward wing.
Any ship these days shits for those ones. Breeze turning right a little more, which suggests it might build. So another 10 degrees or so up this beat. And now looking quite like it could turn dangerous, but hopefully our guys get home before that all happens. And look at that. Look at that. Wow, big spear from the Armarine. Breeze spotty in a lull, and then a spiky bit fin put just going across the bow there.
The Rag having to do the big duck. The Rag and Famish just going to come across screen here. There they are.
So did we bring the telescope to see the appliances online?
Over to your right, Bucko, off the...
Yeah, the Vintech's going all right.
The Shore and Partners is in second on the racetrack. Probably Vintech third, then Finport. It's got the Del Sotto and the Yandu there on the drone. Just working our way back up through the fleet to pick them all up at the top. But, great day for the appliances online so far, Bucko. One more turn and a couple more jives, a few more tacks, and they're double day.
Yeah, good day. Oh, well, you know, they've been, like I said, they have been working on it, and this has shown out.
Just got a cross coming up here. What are we on now? AeroMedia Pitwater. Just got cross Finport now in front of Vintech.
Just the narrowest of crosses.
Yep.
Finport with right, so no problem. Looking up the track, breeze a fairway right. Finport needs to go back to the right, I think, here.
Yeah, I think Shore and Partners, just see if I can get them into the shot as well. That's them there, right there to the left of screen with the black sails. May have, in not sailing over here with the other guys, Bucko might have given away that second.
Yeah, I mean,
close.
These probably, you know, the three boats we're looking at, Appliances, Shore and Partners and Finport, the fastest boats upwind in the fleet. Execution on both boats, on Finport at least, and Shore and Partners today hasn't been that good. By comparison, Appliances' execution has been very, very good, and
so we've got the cross coming up here between ASCO and
Shore and Partners.
Oh, Shore and Partners and Finport's going to attack.
So he thinks a right will pay, as it has each other beat more or less. Something going wrong with their jib sheeting, guys. Don't know, but out of the tack, no jib on.
We're just getting told off Matty Stender it's his first tack of the race. There you go.
It's his
they're having a laugh.
They're having a laugh, yeah. But I keep telling them, you know, do stuff wrong, the people will take pictures and publish them, you know.
Well, we're allowed to. Just back on the Marine Pitwater there.
Wow, but the gap is big, isn't it? And it looks to me as if Finport is going to be comfortably second here.
Just on the Shore and Partners and the Vintech there on screen. The appliance online is, what would you say, Bucko? Minute and a half, minute ahead?
90 seconds, James, yep.
90 seconds, yep.
Big right-hander here. Oh, look at that. So there's definitely something happening in the synoptic, shall we say, because that's another 15 further right than the last time up. The beneficiaries, Vintech and Finport. And presumably a bit more pressure coming with it as well, yeah?
Vintech is still slightly bow up on the Finport there, Bucko, and then I'll just put the curse on him and a little header.
Yeah, and Vintech been sailing better, and you can see in the trim now they've got the jib sheeted pretty solid and they're able to get the mainsail to work okay, and so they're on an improved curve, which is good, and plenty of wind up the track. Appliances on line, tacks on their lay line up to the right of where we are. We're travelling with Vintech in third, but our mates on the Shore and Partners just go back a solid 30 seconds there. Not getting hard enough right. Appliances as usual, overlaying the windward mark and just reaching in.
Great shot there, isn't it, Bucko?
Fantastic.
Spectator boat just going, oh, hello.
Beautiful picture, but a good overlay. But they will do a job here, I would think. Breeze has gone around to the right, looking upwind, so Appliances bear away and
A little bit of
hoist. They're going to do a hoist? No, they're going to do a jibe.
Turn into jibe.
Funny looking jibe though, but they got out of it. Finport going to the furthest mark this time, so they give a little bit back to Vintech. Not a great set on the Appliances, but good enough.
It's up and it's working. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So Finport around the blue here, Bucko?
I thought the white, mate.
The white?
Well, I might stand corrected, but they overstood the blue.
Yeah, all right, so they're on the white. And the Shaw and Partners, they are on the, which one are they on?
Blue.
Blue.
The middle one. Blue, AKA middle.
So, and I'm assuming the Vintech on the blue or the middle as well, yeah?
Yeah. So enough wind there that the Shaw and Partners got the jib out. So Finport on the lay line, and a horrible tack from the Shaw and Partners. So it'll be on the water, appliances first and gone. Vintech second, closely followed by the Finport. So you'd expect Finport will be able to catch these guys downhill. Great jibe set from the Finport.
Yeah, very impressive, very impressive.
They just stood on the spinnaker sheet with 1 foot. Would have been better, but anyway, pretty good. 3 boat lengths jibe set in an 18-footer is up the curve.
Well up the curve.
So Finport, I think, already in second as a result of that, in fact.
And a problem right in front of the camera boat, the Shaw and Partners have got the big prawn happening, and
so close to being in the drink. I didn't see what happened there, James, but
there was a windward set, Bucko, and the spinnaker just dropped out of the bag straight into the tide, so it's lucky to save that.
And now it's stuck to jib. They got out of that pretty well, though, didn't they?
Yeah, so normally what happens there, obviously, goes over the side, fills up with water, and then you have the inevitable swim.
That's given second place back to the Vintech, so...
Third place. You called Finport into second, Bucko.
Sorry.
Trying to help you.
Help me, son. Help me. Help. Well, you can see just from what we see on camera, grease has spiked up a little, so the weather model not completely out of whack today. So there's a contrast in good execution. Finport got their minute back of unwinding and driving back to go down this edge, which is the right call. Great job. Wow.
Just riding along here with the Shaw and Partners. We'll go get Finport and Vintech. Coming around to the left here, Piers, the camera.
Finport in a great header.
It's going to be a great little battle between these two.
Yeah, the Vintech's funny though, isn't it? They go downwind pretty well 80% of the time, and then sometimes just lose their perspective about where the correct jibe point is and so forth. But
the other thing too, Bucko, is I don't know that that's their settled crew either.
I think it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But then way off there, just on the left of screen, you can only just see them. That's the appliances online, a little white dot just going off screen. That's how far they're gone.
They've gone. But you'll see the Finport here just sneaking down over the bow of the Vintech.
Yeah.
Just closing off any option the Vintech's got, except for 2 extra jibes. So breeze far enough in the right, looking upwind, that that Finport probably is going to go to the lay line to the finish, I would expect, or nearly to the lay line. Just have a look, James, see if we can line them up to see. Vintech not far enough advanced to stop them jibing, are they?
No, I don't think they are, mate. It's, I think Finport could easily jibe here, and Vintech's in a little bit of a awkward spot. Like, I think Finport, especially the way we watched them jibe just before, Bucko, like Finport would be able to probably get through that. Now, in saying that, Vintech's just got a nice little puff to let them down to...
Got a screamer. Asco on the face of the same puff.
They look like setting up to jibe there on board Shaw and Partners. So if you remember last time, they played down the left-hand side in the first race, Bucko. Down the Point Piper side, now they're going to play the other side.
Finport now on the screamer, so Finport cleanly in second here. And they're thinking about the jibe. Thinking about the jibe. And he's looking at the lay line. We're on the lay line.
Advantage Finport here.
Oh, and they just had a collapse. No, they didn't. And he's just got a good thing to jibe in here.
There's the Vintech just coming in behind the mighty Camera Cat.
So that's a good example, guys. That's 20 seconds advantage to the Finport, all that. Time to think about it, boys and girls. Just depending on what they think the breeze is doing on the far side, here they go. Well, they hope they're going to the header, and they've got enough allowance to have a header.
And the appliance online.
Oh, Finport, no way. In a lull. But they just gave Vintech a bit of a lesson in how. Away in the distance. We're travelling in Finport. Away in the distance, the white speck of appliances online. Easy win.
Tell you what, the Shaw and Partners Doz has done really well over on that Bradley's Head Shaw, Bucko.
Pressure on both edges. I think the Finport's in front still though, mate. He's got enough header, James, hasn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Bow down. Gee, the convergence is a bit surprising though.
See what I can do for the viewers at home, but appliance online for everyone across the line. Today's double winner. Great job.
So
Finport's got a bit of a problem coming up here, Bucko, with a towboat marine rescue.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's clever enough to figure that one out.
When he gets on top of it.
Yeah, he's fast enough, I think. He's going to go to that line and jibe. He might, no, the rescue guys have just turned away enough, so giving him some room. And he would know that he has to finish at the committee boat end. And he's got room to jibe on top of Asco, one would think, but let's see. Sorry.
Shaw and Partners. So 2/3.
What's he doing? He's calling starboard. And so Shaw and Partners got to flap the chute.
That might be Shaw and Partners to second there, Bucko.
That might be right, because now those guys are going the wrong way. Finport needed a jibe, I think.
And I think Finport might have overcooked this finish line.
It's only a short little line.
No, Finport might come back into it here.
No, they're both having to jibe, are they? Finport flapping.
Finport flapping.
Didn't need to do that, boys. Asco gets it.
Shaw and Partners second.
Sorry, Shaw and
Finport
Partners.
third.
Yeah, Finport, I don't know. What should he have done? Oh well. Vintech fourth.
And then the Vintech fourth.
And looking back up the track, Armarine, Royal Oak, Four Pines, Rag and Famish, Dalzotto, Yandu, Noakes having not a very good day. Yeah. All good.
We've still got more work to do now, Bucko. We've still got these young kids to jump in the go for a ride on the 18s today.
That's
just
great.
On the Royal Oak Four Pines, who are coming in hot and are probably going to have to drop that spinnaker to get to the finish here, Bucko.
Yeah, I'm going to say the finish line a little bit short, I would say, really, for 18 footers. But anyway, coming in hot, got to the header on this side, and oh dear, he said. He didn't say oh dear, he said something else, didn't he?
Oh beer. Oh beer. Give me a 4 pines. There you go.
Yeah, something like that. Or oh duck, perhaps.
Yes.
You think? Anyway, they got there from the rag. The pubs, the 2 pubs.
So Royal Oak 4 pines. Nice day for them. You remember how far back he was on that first beat, Bucko?
Yeah.
So he's done really well to get back in there. So it's a close
Yep.
finish here between Armarine, Pittwater, just coming into the screen.
And Armarine with all rights. Rag will
And
have
the
to
rag
jog.
and Famish. Armarine, Pittwater
Beats the rag.
beats the rag and Famish across the line.
And look who's next, James.
Captain Jack.
You can
Dale
take
Zotto.
take
Here he
over.
comes.
Take over. Take over.
Oh, I'll just blame the forward hand.
Blame the. That's right. They always get to blame those bloody forward hands, don't they? Yes. So. Yeah, the kid's getting in the rib to be transported out to the boat. It's fantastic. But
Just got the Dale Zotto just finishing there, and we'll get the onboard camera to come around and see the kids just hopping off the ferry.
Jimmy, I was thinking back to being 10. You know, it was a couple of weeks ago at least.
A couple of weeks.
I reckon when I was 10,
ago.
a ride on an 18-footer would have just scared me for life. Scarred for life.
It didn't scare me. I sort of remember
Yes?
going down to Balmoral with a certain red 18-foot skiff back in the day
Yes.
when I was picked up from primary school. Just to give a bit of perspective of age to you, Bucko, you were one of the blokes that took me out on that boat for a training day. It was.
What do you say? Age before beauty, youth before what?
And yeah, I had a great time. I was a young bloke.
So great,
Uh,
good effort from the guys here on the Finport.
yep.
Isabel Badger and Rebecca Hammermaster from Vaucluse Yacht Club. So it's a club that races Sabos, Oppies and Flying 11s.
Get along and have a bit of a look.
So yeah, so we'll get some video of the kids. Great stuff. I'm not sure what these girls sail, but they look young enough indeed.
Yeah.
Trapeze belt going on. How's that?
So yeah, Matty Stenner there just taking his strap belt off. And just helping one of the kids into a trap belt. Bit of an experience. We're just going to duck down, as you can see in the back of shot there. We've got Kitchen Maker coming down. They're still racing, and we'll leave these guys to get themselves organised. We'll race over to the Armarine Pittwater. Marcus Ashley James, who will be picking up some more kids for Bucko. Who have we got on here, Bucko?
Sarah Bartels from Northbridge, which is a club up above the Spit Bridge in Upper Middle Harbour. Chits' club, we understand, but Northbridge Seniors, Tasers, what else, Chits? Lasers, Opties and Flying 11s.
You can just see the Piers is just running forward in a bit of seaway. Got to just change a battery out on our forward camera. Not the best shot of Piers on screen, but
it is what it is.
So who else was getting
Isn't there a
kids on
charging
board?
station out here in the middle, mate?
Sorry, mate?
Well, no, I mean... the kitchen maker, getting Luca from Willara. Dalzotto getting Hugo Manette and William Hammermaster from Vaucluse.
Right.
Smeg getting
Well, we might head on over to
John,
Dalzotto.
aka Elias Sellers from Willara.
We're back on live. Yeah. It's not finished yet. Are we on again?
So we left the drone over somewhere over near North Sydney. I think we got the Ronin back, don't we? There we go. Okay. We've got who's on here, Bucko? On the Dalzotto.
Hugo Manette and William Hammermaster from Vaucluse, who look quite youthful, one might say. Full
Yeah,
main
the young
sheet load for the young
bloke
bloke. All good.
trying to wrestle the main.
All good.
He's doing all right.
He's enjoying the challenge, that's for sure.
Yeah. Bit of a wave there from Jack, which is great. Really nice of all these guys to do this for their, you know, for these kids.
Good bit of pressure coming in here. This wasn't in the brochure, James. The little trough in the model has turned up, I think. So Sarah Bartels from Northbridge enjoying that.
Yeah, don't get this wind in Northbridge. Right, let's go to another one. Those two over there. Are they going in or have they got people on them?
No, they got nobody. Finport's gone for a big trudge up the middle of the harbour, so good on them. They're going upwind far enough to get a shoot on by the look of it. Not quite, perhaps.
We'll come around to the left here and we'll, you say Vintech had someone?
No, AOL's got somebody that they've disappeared. Smeg's got somebody. Sorry.
The kitchen maker, I remember you talking about them, Bucko. So.
Yes.
Smeg looks like they've just picked up their passengers, so just over here to the left, and then found the appliances online. So we'll go to Smeg next, and then we'll chase after today's winner, the appliances online, Bucko.
Yeah, all good.
So here's a mighty Smeg. Who's on here, buddy?
John Sellers from Willara. Looks like he's having a good time on the string, sunglasses on. Wonderful.
Looks like a natural.
He's worrying about the hook on his trapeze at the moment. That's good.
I'd be more worried about the rings of the trapeze. They'd be weakly replaced with Big Pete Mackey swinging off them.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
no. Trying to get the young bloke to give us a wave.
He's engaged in
Too professional.
consultation with the other blokes. Here he goes. Great stuff. I don't think he spent too much time on the trapeze by the look of that.
Okay, next one.
Now we'll go chase after the AOL. The appliances online. And we'll How about we go to the kitchen maker, which is right here, and then the appliance online, which looks like they're going up for a spinnaker on chits. Yeah. So just getting.
Yeah.
Problem is for the viewers at home, all the boats have split to all different corners of the harbour, so we're just trying to get the 200 odd horsepower here lit up and get to all these people as quick as we can. So just coming up to the kitchen maker.
Yeah, it's a bit dark today. So Luca from Wallara looks like a good lad. Got him in the bow. Start with the hardest job.
It's the easiest job, Bucko. Come on.
The easiest job, yeah. No, you're right.
Seadan's Union, mate.
It is the easiest
Got
job.
to stick together.
But he's a tall young fella.
Very tall, isn't he?
Yeah. He'll grow up to be a...
So they look like they're going for attack.
And
So
he looks like he might be a
our other two,
20.
quite a ways up, is Appliance Online and Finport. Finport looks like they're going back up to the top mark to set a spinnaker, which will be quite an experience for a young bloke.
Good stuff.
So you know, hats off to these guys for
With building pressure too, James, I think.
what could possibly go wrong.
Nothing.
So we're just burning up the harbour at a lazy 30 mile an hour on the camera cat, Bucko.
Yeah, all good.
Fully loaded.
Good.
It looks like the Dalzotto's come to join these guys up here with their onboard guests as well.
Yeah.
Which I think is an awesome thing by all these guys to. Here we go, the Appliance Online going for a
Quick
spinnaker. First time I nearly lost my hat. How good's that? The speed of this thing now. Finport's gone. They're almost on the other side of Shark Island, so.
Dalzotto trying to have a swim again.
What's going on here? Here we are.
There we go. So big action with the cruising. Great stuff here. Maddie Cornman, and sorry Maddie if I get your name wrong, from the Royal Sydney Yacht Squadron, enjoying one of the great sights of Sydney Harbour and situations, shall we say. On the main sheet, Brady sitting in, Maddie in the middle.
Well, just coming around to see if we can pick up the faces.
So there we go, 4 strings. Great stuff. Little yacht, not exactly sure what they're doing here.
The dog's driving on the bow of that yacht.
And a catamaran on starboard, admittedly. These guys dragging the chute. Going for the
Leisurely day on the harbour with my fenders out.
Wow, good stuff, guys.
Well done, guys. That was great. Sure, young Maddie will be. There you go, get away from her. Sure, she'll be over the moon. All right. Off to hunt for the Finport. for the Red October.
Jimmy, I think we should start talking about the viewers who are not at home, you know? Viewers out on the road, viewers...
Well, I hope they're not on the road. Well,
whatever.
If they're driving, no.
Viewers on the water.
Yeah, viewers on the water, viewers at the skiff club.
Viewers at the skiff club.
Alright, I've locked onto the fin port. They're just hoisting a spinnaker just off Royal Edwards. There's our drone chasing us back up the harbour. Having a little race with the drones, so. Good bit of pressure coming for him here, Bucko, for the...
We can believe you. Just turn her up head to wind, Jimmy. We'll be right. So they're two young girls from Vaucluse, and these boys doing a great job. 2 races and a bit of mucking around, a general recall, and still enough energy to take these girls for a little burn.
Yeah, I think it's great. All of them that are involved are sitting there with Keegan, as I said, having lunch today, and couple of the kids, Lisa was short a boat, and Keegan quickly offered the services of the guys on the fin port to do it, and which I think is great. Yeah, we're having a salad or something and a bottle of water, me and Keegan. Bucko?
What's gone wrong in the world? Here they go anyway, into a good little bit of squirt here.
Might have been encased in a bit of pastry and a bit meaty.
A salad pie, you mean?
Yeah.
Good line of puff coming to them. I think this might be sufficient to persuade the girls that the 18-footer deserves respect. Here we go.
There'll be a big letdown, this one.
Yeah, a beauty. Absolute cracker. Fantastic. Enough wind to get near lift off. And a bit of bouncy action. Fantastic.
Smiles all round.
I think so. Good and wet. Great picture. Great picture. Bit backlit though, Chitso. Bit backlit, mate.
And that will leave them there to burn off. Fin port going off into the distance.
Great stuff. Another breeze. Yeah, okay, that's good too. So folks, the end of another interesting day in Sydney Harbour. Bit of development and interest gathering for the youth programs. 2 snappy little short races, both won by Appliances Online. There was no second, Your Majesty.
Yeah, well done to Appliance Online, great effort.
Thanks to Pierce, Max, Jono from AeroMedia for the pictures. Michael Chittenden, James Fury and Andrew Buckland signing off the Camera Cat for today. Hope to see you same time next week. Over and out.